What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Patrick here. Moving on to the next counting question. So as I mentioned in previous questions, this here, it's all written out in lecture notes on the website, so you don't have to write all this out. You could print it off at the beginning of the section on the website. If you're on YouTube, you can just go to the description box and there will be a link to the course website where all of this is located. So you are going to play a game 4 times that costs $2 to play each time. If you win, you get back $5 or a $3 profit. That makes sense, right? So you're playing a game that costs $2, so you have to put up a $2 bet. And then if you win, you get back 5, which would be a $3 profit, 5 minus 2. If you lose, you just lose the $2 wager. You lose the $2 bet. And you start with 3, and you're going to keep playing the 4 times as long as you can afford it. So we got to answer these 3 questions. How many possibilities are there? How many ways can you make a $2 profit? And then number 3, how many ways can you break even? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase actually all this, give myself some room here. I'm going to draw this through a tree just to show you all of the different possibilities visually. So what happens is we're starting here, and we're starting with $3. And so the first branch of this tree, there's always going to be 2 branches coming about, and there's only 2 possibilities. Either you're going to win the game or you're going to lose the game. So what happens is out of this $3, you place a bet for 2, and what would happen is if you win, you make a $3 profit, you would get back $5, right? So you put in 2, and then you got back 5. So you would make a $3 profit. So that means if you win the first game over here, in this scenario, you would have $6. However, if you lose the first game, you're losing that $2 wager, so 3 minus 2, and you would end up with $1 over here. So this here, let me write it up here. This represents the first game, like that. Now, what's going to happen is, notice over here, if you lose the first game, you actually can't play any more games because you can't afford it, because each game costs $2, and you're only going to have $1 left over here. So there's actually not going to be any more branches here, because at this point, you can't play a second, third, or fourth game because you can't afford it. Remember, you're going to keep playing the games as long as you can afford it. So over here, in this scenario, you're just going to end up with $1 and you can't play any more games. Now over here, you have $6, so you can still play more games. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put this branch a little further down just to give myself some room for the rest of the branches. So here, you can afford it. It costs $2, you have $6. So in the second game, what's going to happen? Well, you're either going to win or lose. If you win, you make a $3 profit. So that would be 9 over here. If you lose the $2 bet. From $6, you'd have 4 over here. So that would be the results of the second game. And then notice in both of these scenarios, you could keep playing. You keep affording to play. So over here, for the third game, you'd have a win or loss. And then for this, you'd have a win or loss as well. The game costs $2 each time. Now, if you win, again here, $3 profit on top of the 9, so that would be 12. You'd have $12 here. If you lose the $2 wager, you'd end up with 7 there. Here, you have 4. If you win, $3 profit, this would be 7. If you lose the $2, and this would be 2. Right there, you'd have $2 left. So all of this are the results after the third game. And then the fourth game, what would happen? 12, you can afford to play. You can afford to play in all of these scenarios because the game costs $2. Here you have more than enough, and here you have exactly $2. So what would happen is, let's go one by one. So if you win here, so we got win and losing. If you win, you end up with 15. If you lose the $2, you'd end up with 10. Over here, if we win, you make a $3 profit, you'd end up with 10, right? 7 plus 3. If you lose, though, you lose $2, so you'd end up with 5, like that. And then same thing over here, because this is 7, so win or lose, that would be the same results. $3 profit, 10, or $2 loss, which would be 5. And then over here, you either win or lose. Now, if you win, you make a $3 profit on this, so you'd end up with 5. If you lose the $2, you'd end up with 0, like that. Right? So notice that, what are the possibilities here? Well, the possibilities are the n branches, including this one. This is a possibility as well. Right? It's just, in this possibility, you only played one game, and then you can't afford to play anymore. But it's still a possibility. So this is a possibility, and then going down this way, this is a possibility, this is a possibility, this, and that as well. All right, so for number 1, how many possibilities are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possibilities for this game to go for you. Now, number 2 is asking us, in how many ways can you make a $2 profit? Now, a $2 profit means, remember, we started off with 3, so if we make a $2 profit, it means we're going to end up with 5. So we would look at all these possibilities. Where do we end up with 5? Now remember, these dollar amounts, it's how much you end up with. It's not the profit. Okay, it's the amount that you're ending up with. And if you make a $2 profit on $3, starting with $3, you'd end up with 5. So we just have to count the possibilities where we end up with 5. And notice that there are 3. 1, 2, 3. So in this case, there's 3 possibilities to end up with $5. Right, so this one over here, you would win the first game, lose the second, lose the third, but then win the fourth. Or this one here, you would win the first, lose the second, win the third, lose the fourth. Right, so you can just go through the branches to see what sequence. So sometimes they'll ask you maybe what's the sequence of events that happen. You'd have to list it out like that, like I just said. Or they'll just ask you for the number of possibilities like they are in this case. So you would just list out 1, 2, 3, that number. Now number 3 is asking, in how many ways can you break even in this game? Now if you break even, it means you made a $0 profit. So you would end up with what? You'd end up with $3. You'd end up with what you started with. But if you notice, there's no possibilities for you to end up with $3. So there's actually 0 ways for you to break even. Either you're going to lose money, which would be in this case, or you're going to win money, which would be in the rest of the cases. So you're either going to have a loss or a profit. There's no possibility for you to break even.